All right, guys, so today we're making another video about the car market. I made one of these a few months ago, and I just want to talk about a few things. We sold a few cars since then, kind of know a little more about what's happening, and want to explain to you my opinion of it. Now, we're into February 2022. The market's crazy, or at least it looks like it's crazy. Is it really, truly that high? And my opinion on it is, on some cars, it's nearly as high as what it looks, and other cars, it's nowhere near what it looks. You see a lot of guys listing stuff. We're looking at Porsche things and BMW stuff, and everything's crazy money. $30,000, $40,000 for the same cars that it was, $15,000, $20,000 a year and a half ago. And we notice a lot of this on looking at 911. Some of those are $70,000 and to $100,000 for non-turbo stuff that we all know is not worth that kind of money. But after selling the M3, we learned real quick on that car. We sold it for like $10,500. We learned really quick the market is not $20,000 or $30,000 like everybody's listening for. It's just not there. Even having the right spec car, the right color combo, when it comes down to it, if you list it for what everybody else is listing it for, it sits there for months. You don't get one email on it, and it just dies off. And we noticed that with the 1600 here, a lot of guys asking 20, 30 grand for them. We wanted to sell this thing for a while. We get some offers, some people, like one person's ever looked at it, right? And we keep lowering it. We're down to like 11 grand on this thing, and it's not sold yet. Have a couple people inquiring about it, trying to find shipping. I think a lot of it is too, this car is not a drivable daily, and that deters a lot of people away from it. If it's a very usable car, I think you could probably get, top dollar is still impossible. I think you probably get half to 3/4 of what the market is bearing. The other thing too, the book value has not caught up on a lot of cars what the market is. So when people go to get loans for stuff, they can't get the loan for it for that much money. And on a small value car, it's not a big deal. On a big value car, it is a big deal. And that might have a lot of factors to it too. We noticed that when we went to sell the Scion on Scion XB, the market was very soft on those. What everything looks like, it's $6,000, $7,000 on those, and you list it on there, and there's nobody emailing you on it, and that tells you the market's not there at that price. And then you lower it down to where all the normal stuff is. You get email here or there, and then it's like nobody's real serious on it. A lot of excuses. You see that a lot. So do I think the whole used car market's going to crash? I think it'll crash for all the common stuff. I don't think it's ever going to crash on Porsche stuff or real rare stuff. It's just not going to crash on that. And it's a simple fact because a lot of those cars don't exist anymore. As time goes on, a lot of those kind of cars get wrecked. There gets to be a lot of issues. The owners are not selling them anymore. There gets to be fewer and fewer and fewer as time goes on. And those cars will always step in value. Now, whenever this all comes crashing down, probably whenever the microchip shortage catches up is when it's going to crash. When it all comes crashing down, it's going to make every car crash. No, it won't. I don't think it will. It is going to knock a lot of value off the stuff, though. And that's what we're looking at now. We're just trying to sell a bunch of cars from here so we have more room. We're going to come to a crisis if something don't change with the market to where I won't be able to find anything else to buy to replace the stuff with. Now, there's always stuff let me back that up. There's always stuff to buy, but people want full retail for a broken needs an engine car, and it's the same price as one that runs perfectly fine or within $1,000 of it, but it needs a $10,000 engine. It just doesn't make any sense. You really have to go above and beyond to find a deal on a broken car. In all the past years, it never was that way. You could just willy-nilly go out and find stuff almost on a daily basis to buy, and it's just not that case. The other dangerous thing for us here is if I go buy something and pay, let's say we pay 15 grand for a 911 or a Cayman that's broken, right? 16, 17 grand is about the normal market for one perfectly running, but you need 5 or 10 grand worth of parts to fix it, and then you have 25 grand in this car. Whenever the market crashes, those cars will still be worth money, but not 25 grand like everybody's asking, or 30 grand. They'll be worth, 16, 17 grand. And at that point in time, you're gonna have a car, you're gonna have way more money than what it's worth because you didn't buy it right when you bought it. And there's a lot to think about. That's why we listed the yellow Porsche. We listed it for a price that I thought the market could bear. No problem. Whoever is buying that car can always at least get what they got out of it. And I think the market's never going to go below what we'll put it at 18.5. I think it's a safe bet. Even if the market crash, that's a safe buy at that point. Now, we have guys asking 30 grand, 35 grand for those cars. I don't think it's there. If we would have listed it for that, it just would have sat there forever. If I would have listed it for 25, we would have got a couple phone calls on it. It would have sat there forever. But at 18.5, we have hundreds of messages on it. And at that price, it works out for us. We could go buy this stuff. Works out for the buyer. It's just all around. You have to judge the situation when you're selling stuff these days. And a lot of car dealers right now, a lot of guys I know that buy salvage stuff are just paying top dollar at Copart for it, and just paying more and more and more for it because they think they could always get it out of it. But they're going to get caught with their pants down because eventually that's not going to be the case. And back when the economy crashed in 2010, I got pinched hard on that because I had a whole bunch of expensive cars, and overnight the value was half. You couldn't sell anything. You couldn't give stuff away. So we're eventually going to have that crisis. If that happens, when it happens, we'll probably revert to some older stuff that doesn't cost a lot of money. Even though I don't like doing that, we'll have to do that for a little bit when the market does crash. And that's the situation. That's my thoughts about it. I've seen this play out in 2010 already once. So don't write me off as some old man doesn't know what he's talking about. I've already seen it once. I think that's going to replay itself. When exactly you say is it going to replay itself? I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. I don't read palms or anything like that. What do they call those things, Philip? What do they call the people? Median?
Like a mystic or what?
Yeah, mystic median or something. And I don't know. I would say if I just had to guess, sometime this year. I don't know when. 6 to 12 months. I think it's going to hit the floor. That's my old man opinion. It might be another year. It might be 2 years. But I think 2 years, within 2 years, it'll 100% crash and smack the floor. Let's hope everybody's set up. You get a little bit of savings at that point. Everything seems to be smoothed out. And our exceedingly high gas prices is going to escalate that. We're seeing diesel now at $4.03 a gallon here in Missouri. And in some spots it's still $3.59, $3.69. But that's going to drive that crazy. But that's going to be it, guys. Enough old man chapter today. Hope you like this. Hope this is going to save some of you guys some heartache when this does go down. Thanks for watching. See y'all later.